All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. We're going to do some more Gunforged work today. I don't really have a whole lot planned. I've got some items here. So if I just take a look at this, I think we're going to get some of these items done. But I think for the most part, this stream is just going to be playing the game, goofing around, finding things to tweak and to change, and generally just trying to get Gunforged into a state where it feels good to play. I mentioned on last stream, probably going to remove all the meta upgrades that I currently have unlocked, just delete those all outright, reset my gold to 0, and just play a couple of times and start tweaking numbers to get it to feel like it should feel when you're on the first level with no upgrades. So probably going to do some of that this stream. I got a couple of additional content items that I'm really interested in adding, so it always takes longer to implement these things than I'm thinking, but we will see. We will see what happens. So, all right. So before I get started and before I say hello to all of you, I want to mention that if you'd like to support my work, you can check out the links in the description below. Most notably, my Godot courses, the C# course being the most recent one. But I also have a couple of GDScript courses, one for Godot 4 and one for Godot 3. So if you're interested in those, definitely check those out and pick one up if you are able to and interested in doing that. Otherwise, like, subscribe, wishlist Gunforged. Every way that you could help me from small to big is linked in the description below. So check all that stuff out. And with that, let's say hello. Good morning, Adam. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Ariane, where's my friend? I'm here. Welcome, welcome. I just noticed you got a guitar in your profile picture. What kind of guitar is that? I have a Schecter Hellraiser and an I think it's an ESP. I think it's called an Arctic M1 or something. Samurai, welcome. Good to see you again. Hitium, welcome back. Good to see you. Masta, hello, hello. Can you bake particles into a sprite sheet? So there are tools that can do this for you. I think there's one made in Godot actually that can do this for you. But the way that you would have to do it is you would have to set up a little scene running your particles, and then every X number of seconds capture an image of the screen, which you can do in Godot. There's a way to capture the viewport to an image file. So you'd have to set like a transparent background or something. I actually don't know how that works exactly. But you can either set a transparent background or do like a green screen behind it and just capture images. But I would definitely look and see if there's a tool that can do that for you already. I'm doing great, Masta. How are you? Bought all the GDScript courses, but I don't do C# sadly. That's all right. That's perfectly fine. Watching and liking and subscribing is a great way to support me as well. And of course, you've already financially supported me, so that's very much appreciated. Yeah, give that a try and let me know how that works. Bought the C# course, can recommend it. Awesome. Thank you, Der Wenzel. I hope that's how you say your name. I took 4 years of German in high school, and I completely forgot how to speak most of it, so... All right, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. Oops, I always forget to change the editor scale here. So let's just get that going while I'm looking at this. So I know I said I wanted to do some playtesting, but I want to do this. This idea just came to me this morning to have a passive where it's an oil aura that applies 1 oil stack to enemies every 2 seconds. So I'm going to implement that because that sounds like a lot of fun. So for some reason, my editor has started lagging. I don't know if you can see this very well. Started lagging after it immediately starts up, but then it gets fine after a while. So I don't know if there's some kind of like asynchronous process happening or some, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, let's give this a shot. So how do I make a passive? That's a good question. Let's figure it out. So I think what I need to do is I need to do a new scene, give it a node, and we're going to call it oil aura passive. Save this in scenes. Component passive. Yep, save it there. Add script. Bump this up as well. Let's do close others. There we go. All right, so this is game.component.passive, and this has to extend player passive. Oops. And we're gonna have a couple of interesting things going on here. So I need to, I think I should use the hitbox component because I've got this burst here. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to do this. I'm going to use a hitbox component. So public hitbox component. And then let's also do a timer. Nope. Node private timer. Why did I make this public? Private. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Public override void ready. Timer.timeout. Oh, it imported the system threading instead of Godot. Using Godot, thank you. Timer.timeout plus equals on timer timeout. On timer timeout. So what we're going to do in here is we are going to, what are we going to do? I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do hitbox component.burst. That's basically it, but we also need to set the hitbox component.global position is equal to this dot get player dot feet, or no, let's do center position. Otherwise, that. So we're going to change the position of the hitbox component since this is going to be a child of just a regular old node. So we have to modify the global position, and then we can call burst on it. Now, the one thing that we need to do is we need to do hitbox component that add statuses to apply oil status dot scene path. So, is that not right? Oh, it has to be an enumerable, huh? New string. And then for every time this increment, this stack added is called. So private void private, do I need to make it protected? Override, void, stack added. There we go. We're going to do the same thing here. So every time a stack gets added. Now, does this get called on... Does this get called on the first one? That's the question. It does. Okay. So I actually don't need that here. So every time the stack added gets called, it's going to add a status to apply, and that should work. So it's just going to add an oil status to apply every single time this passive gets added, so we can have it 3 times and add 3 oil stacks. Okay, perfect. This one's an Ibanez JEM 555, the Steve Vai type. Ooh, very nice. That's a cool guitar. There's an option to speed up the editor. Disable floating editor settings interface. Does that work? VS Code has those detached windows now. I think, you mean Godot? Is that what's causing that issue? I'll have to look at that. Single window mode, huh? Okay, anyway, so this is adding those. This is going to be a relatively simple passive, actually. So we're going to call hitbox component.burst. Now I need to instantiate that hitbox component. Oops, that's the wrong one. And then I need to add a timer. This timer is going to be 2 seconds, auto start. Hitbox component, this is long-lived, and it's going to do no damage. I think that's what it's going to do by default. Cool. So we've got the hitbox component there, and the collision, it's looking for the enemy. I think that's fine. So I need to call configure burst on it. So is that going to work in the ready method here? Hitbox component.configure burst, hitbox component.collision mask. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. Why is this happening here? This collision shape 2D. Oh, I see. Cool. So hopefully that doesn't trigger. I guess it doesn't matter. So that should be fine. So we've got the hitbox component. I need to add a collision shape 2D to it. And let's do a new circle shape 2D. Let's make it 64. And then we can give this a visual as well. So every time this burst happens, we're going to do a circle explosion. So new circle explosion dot circle explosion builder. This is going to be this dot get base level dot foreground, I guess. Spawn position. And then the duration 0.3. Set color. We're going to need a color in here. I'll grab that in a second. Set radius. The radius is going to be... I should probably get a reference to this radius, huh? I don't really want to. I'm just gonna write it. I just have to make sure that that stays in sync with the hitbox. Do I need to transfer gun stats? Oh, wait. Oh, interesting. So I actually don't need to do all this that I was doing here. So I can just do this. So set statuses. Okay, hold on a second. I didn't realize that I could just use the circle explosion for these hit detections. So set, I probably do need to set the gun stats. Just for safety purposes. Maybe I don't, but let's see. I don't think that this is using the gun stats anywhere. Yeah, it's not. So I don't really need that, but I think just to be safe, I probably should do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it off. The oil status doesn't use the gun stats at all, so I don't think it's necessary to have those. Okay, set thickness, let's do 10. Okay, so I think that's correct. And now I need to do dot set add status to apply. I need to extend this. Add statuses to apply. I enumerable string status paths. Status paths to apply dot add range status paths. Return this. So I can do private list string statuses to apply equals new. This I will simply change to be statuses to apply dot add. I don't need the hitbox component, so I'm going to get rid of this. And this should all be working. So then I can say statuses to apply here. It wants me to make this read only, so I guess I'll do that. All right, cool. That should work. Okay, so let's go back to Godot. Let's delete this hitbox component. Doesn't need that anymore. And what am I doing? Oh, I need to grab the color. That's right. Let's go ahead and grab the color. I have this little palette extension that's been broken a little bit, but I should put like a color grid in here for like a color picker grid in here. That'd be nice. Okay, let me just grab. I gotta figure out how to grab the color here. Here we go. What is the color that I use for the oil? Guess it's better to just go in here and figure that out. Let's see. Here. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Now we can go ahead and see if that works, I think. No, I gotta do some more work here. Godot 4.2 editor is lag compared to Godot 3.5 because the new floating option was implemented. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. When I first started Godot, did you do GDScript or C#? I think that, I mean, I pretty much have been using C# the whole time. But I'm sure when I was first getting introduced to Godot, I probably started with GDScript before trying to figure out C#. But I've been basically using C# a lot of time. For all my major games, I've used C#. But like I said, I think in the next game, I'm just going to stick with GDScript. Are you going to be making more Godot C# tutorials, Firebelly? I think I will. I just have to find a time to do it. I'm currently actually actively producing a video to cover all of the game dev tools and workflow that I use, which a lot of people have been asking for. And I am going to... So I'm going to include all the tools that I use, and I think the interesting thing is there's a lot of game developer YouTubers that have made similar videos, but what I'm going to include in my video is I'm going to include some marketing tools as well. So tools that can be used to create content for a YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit differentiated in that sense. Does memory usage matter to you when programming and gaming? Well, I haven't really run into an issue where memory usage was a problem. Like Gunforged doesn't use any more than like 150 megabytes or 200 megabytes of memory at a time, which might be a lot for this kind of game, but also it's not a lot for modern systems. So, and in terms of gaming, I mean, again, memory usage has never been a problem like for any individual game that I've played. You know, I've had games that use multiple gigabytes of memory, and it's like, I've got 32 gigs in my system, so it's like, as long as it's not taking an outrageous amount, you know. When I'm editing videos, the video editor takes like 10 gigabytes of memory, so I don't really care that much how much memory games use. And the IntelliCode is like, hey, no, like this, yeah. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Blair William. Hello, Neozoid, welcome back. Good to see you again as well. Will you stream make devlogs for your next game, or will it be kept under wraps until we can play it? No, I'm going to be streaming and making devlogs for it, yeah. I don't really see any reason to keep it under wraps, you know. I think that a lot of people really enjoy seeing the process of making the game and seeing the game evolve over time, and You know, it's a great way to raise awareness for the game too. I mean, that's making devlogs and streaming game development is a form of marketing because you are maximally exposing your game. Yeah, marketing info sounds great. Cool, yeah. I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. I got a lot of tools that I think I can mention that people are really going to appreciate hearing about. All right, so let's go ahead and add in the passives here. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm having like, I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick. I don't think so. Just throat is kind of weird this morning. So let's go ahead and add some player passives here. So in resources, passive, I need to create a new resource. Player passive, we're going to call it Oil Aura. Boom. What do we want to call it? We need a funny name for this Oil Aura. I don't know, maybe I'll just call it oily. Grease ball. That's a fun one. Grease ball. Let's go with it. So now I have to remember oh man, I have to remember my little language that I made here. Okay. Adds 1 in curly braces. This is an expression. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh no. This language is going to be wrong. This might end up being very annoying, but we're going to see. Oh, you know what? I need to add feature tags to this as well. This is oil. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that. Add initial table item, Oil Aura. All right, let's go see if we can make this work now. Add passive Oil Aura. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, I forgot to call .build on that. I always forget to do that. There we go. Ooh, that's very tiny. Probably want to increase that. Okay, and the problem here... So there's another problem. Is there a problem? Oh. So I made a change. I'm now pooling these circle explosions so they're not being created all the time. But I don't know... Clear statuses to apply. So this circle explosion... Right, okay. I also need to do a public void clear. Am I not using this shapecast mask anywhere? I'm not. Okay. So I've just when I'm pooling certain items like the circle explosion, so instead of reinstantiating them all the time, I have to reset the initial state of these things. And the ignored set was not being cleared, so that actually could have been a problem, generally speaking. So clear statuses to apply. I also need to do hitbox component.clear ignored set. And I think it would be easier actually if I just created a public void reset here, and in here, basically all this stuff. So let's just do this. I don't know if that's going to work. Hold on. Bomber artillery bullet. Set enemy true. So circle explosion builder. If, let's see. Configure collision area is enemy. Radius is enemy. So it's changing that mask. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So now I can just call hitbox component dot reset. And that resets basically everything here. Now, is there anything else I need to reset? Gun stats to transfer. Statuses to apply, ignored set. No, I think that's it. Okay. So let's go back into the game now and make sure that that is properly reset. How would you go about doing lists or dictionaries in GDScript? Or get around the fact that it doesn't work like it does in C#, or does it? Yeah, I mean... a list can just be an array. And, you know, GDScript arrays have all of the typical things that you'd expect. They have all the typical things that you'd expect to be able to do. So appending, prepending, removing elements at the, you know, at the end of the list or whatever. And then in terms of like dictionaries, dictionaries are pretty straightforward as well. If you're wondering like how to do other data structures, like a hash set or something, you can kind of do a hash set with a GDScript dictionary. You just have to have like, you know, use the key as basically the hash set entry, and then you could just store like a Boolean that says like true or whatever. And then you could write your own functions to do the set operations like union and exception. That obviously requires you to do some work. You'd have to create a new dictionary and then merge the two based on which keys are present in both dictionaries. But yeah, I mean, basically you can accomplish anything that you need to accomplish with GDScript. You can emulate a lot of the more sophisticated data structures, but you just have to you kind of have to write a lot of the stuff yourself. You basically will use arrays and dictionaries to represent every single kind of data structure, since those are really the only things that are available to you. Or, you know, well, not or. What is this doing? Sorry, I gotta check this out. Why is this not working? You could write, like if you were trying to make like a tree of some kind, you could write your own tree class in GDScript, and then under the hood, it would have like dictionaries that tell you where all the node connections are and everything, or all the, you know, the graph node connections are. I don't know if that's super helpful, but ignored set.clear. I need to do a null chaining there. Okay, that will work. But yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this before. There are some games where it's probably better to leverage the C# datasets that are available to you. That's why I think the game that we make in the C# course, which is a grid-based puzzle game, doing grid operations, utilizing sets and all that stuff to do that is very easy in C# because of the sort of ready-to-use data structures. Greaseball times 2, let's go. So I think I'm going to increase this. I might increase the proc time from 2 to like 3 seconds or 4 seconds maybe. And then also increase the range. I hope you're not hearing my neighbor's having their roof redone, so apologies if you can hear some banging. Hopefully the music is drowning it out enough. So the oil aura passive, let's bump this up to 96. So bump up the radius to 96. Let's bump up the wait time to 3 seconds, and let's reflect that in here. So every 3 seconds, and that should be good. And we'll just give this a quick little test again, make sure it's all good, and then we can move on to some different content. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Sweet. I think that looks great. It's not too... I thought it was going to be a little bit annoying to have this little circle explosion happening all the time, but I really don't think it's that bad. Cool. All right. We're going to call that good. Oh man, they're really hammering. So yeah, that was pretty simple. All right. What do we got going on next? Let's mark that as done. It would be cool if I could do some kind of integration where I could play like an effect on a stream whenever something gets moved to the done. I have no clue if that would even be possible, but... So I have an affix that I want to do, which is increase damage based on empty rune slots. That one sounds very interesting. Chance when applying oil to enemy to spawn oil geyser that shoots oil projectiles. That's an interesting... I'm trying to add more sort of oil, whatchamacallit? More oil stacks. Maybe let's do a little bit of playtesting and just see what comes to mind while I'm playtesting. Is there a reason to rely upon var when declaring variables instead of jumping directly to their type? Var occupied tiles versus IEnumerable occupied tiles. The only reason is that it's shorter. That's it. Some people still prefer to put the types explicitly in the variable definition, but I think that that's redundant. You know what the type is of the right-hand side of the argument, and, with modern IDEs, if you're ever confused about the type, like here, var color, I can just go, oh, what is this? Oh, it's a type of color, right? So it's like, but I really don't think that that's necessary because you can see the type right here on the same line, So, but it's a matter of personal preference. I just think it looks nicer to do that, and it's less redundancy. I salute you, patron. Well, thank you. Did you ever visit Turkey? I have not. The only foreign nation that I've ever been to is Canada. I think that's true. Yeah, I went to Canada. I went to Puerto Rico once, but that's a U.S. territory, so that doesn't count. Yes, yep, from USA. All right, let's do some playtesting. Okay, so, oops, before I playtest, I need to clear my save data. So let's just go ahead and I'm just gonna delete this outright. Delete, goodbye. Erased my save data. There we go, that's a little bit better. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, I've got some new codex entries. I should probably suppress those. But anyway, so that's looking good. All right, let's go ahead and choose level. I need to update that screen too. Oh, so much to do. So much to do. But we're going to do some playtesting. I'm going to take some notes as I'm going along. Probably will tweak some numbers. But let's just see what this looks like. Tweak some passives that we find are maybe perhaps a little bit too strong. Hello, the sand. Greetings from Sweden. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Let's do... I like Zap. I don't know. I like Zap. Let's equip that on the right gun. Unlocked a new codex entry. Nice. I gotta add some more guns too. To the game. Ooh, this is a very slow shooting gun. But we'll snipe them. Nice. What do we got going on here? Increase health, zap ×2. Let's do increased health because I see that there's a health shrine and I want to sacrifice some health to the health shrine. That is not much of an upgrade. What do we got going on here? Quickness, robust, get down, Mr. President. Got to take that one. So I like that trade because I trade one maximum health for basically what is essentially a regenerating health with the bodyguard. Sweet. All right. So good. So far, so good. Loot Goblin, Imaginary Friend are blood brothers? Wow. This is a tough one. You know I like the Loot Goblin, but I'm also feeling like a Blood Brothers run here, so I'm going to get the Blood Brothers there. Oh, and I get a stack of bleed. Oh my goodness. There's my bleed that I needed. So there's my bleed. Let's see. That, I suppose, is a decent... That's a decent one. Number of bullets, spread, but the rune slots go up. I don't know if I want to do that, though. Do I want to do that? I guess I can always put it on and just see. That's actually kind of... Yeah, kind of good. Just get a lot of spread going on here. Bullet splits when colliding with enemy. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Cool. All right. Let's engage the Blood Brothers. Oh, I gotta go get that rune. There's a Blood Brother. Yeah, get him. I love how those guys spawn and just immediately beeline it to another enemy and just blow up. I love that. That's so fun. I've been thinking for a long time, in a game, how do you realize your weapons are equal, that there isn't one stronger than the other? Well, I wonder if the premise is wrong. I think the classic sort of game design advice is that everything should have clear strengths and clear weaknesses. If you're making like a, let's say you're making like a Metroidvania or some other kind of level-based combat game, like a Souls-like or something, I think the typical advice is like there should be clear strengths and clear weaknesses. So all the weapons are going to be stronger than all the other weapons in a very certain sense. And because they have different strengths like qualitatively and different weaknesses qualitatively, you can't really do something like just a straight up DPS comparison because, you know, let's say you got a game where you apply a status effect every hit. Well, then you equip a dagger, and the dagger may have a low DPS, but it has a really quick attack rate, and so you're applying all these statuses to people constantly, right? So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I'm not sure that you can really do that. I think the best way to think about it is there should be things that are stronger than other things, and that those same things should have weaknesses compared to the other things. For a Gunforged, I'm not really fussing too much about, oh, this gun has too high of a fire rate, or this gun has too much of a damage number. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, this is obviously like this weapon part ends up being the obvious pick every time, so I'll just bring the numbers down. But I'm kind of trying to get into a situation where, you know, sometimes the player's going to have a run where they have a really powerful setup, and sometimes the player's going to have a run where they don't. And so I'm not fussing too much about like, well, this is obviously too powerful, because sometimes I want the player to get the thing that's very powerful, right? So that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. But in terms of like the drop rates, I do have a tool that I wrote that generates a bunch of gun parts randomly, and then I can get statistics around, like, so I can generate 10,000 gun parts, and then I can get statistics like how many of the gun parts had one or more rune slots, right? How many gun parts had, you know, what is the damage of each of the gun parts, and I can kind of look at it that way. But I think some games it's less important. I think if you have, like in Gunforged, if I have a very powerful item, I might just make that rarer in terms of the loot table and the chance that it will drop without necessarily nerfing it, right? Or making it more in line in terms of power with other items. Currently enjoying your C# course. I'm at the end of section 2. Regarding Gunforged, I was thinking you could have an add-on consumable that overcharges the weapon for a period of time. Oh, I see. So what would overcharge do in your mind? Like more damage and more fire rate, potentially? Speaking of overcharge, I'm going to scramble this left gun. That was not a good trade. That was not a good trade at all. Gosh, they're really banging. I might not do a stream tomorrow if they're going to be banging again. We'll see. We'll see. There we go. DPS right there. I lost a rune slot though. Ooh, that's more DPS as well. So we've got a shotgun, receiver, sniper barrel, and oil magazine. So it's just shooting these oil globs. Could affect damage, rate of fire. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. We'll just allow that to be sold. Blood Brothers, go! Sweet. We're cruising here. Blood Torrent. I think this one needs to be changed. Inflict maximum blood stacks on all enemies when taking damage. I almost never take this one. I need to add, I think what I need to do is the point of this one is that there's like I want to make a build possible where you're intentionally taking damage. But I don't think that I have enough passives or affixes to make that a viable build path yet, so I need to think about that some more. Your game will be released this year. Yeah, end of December is what I'm targeting. Range also, yeah. Basically just buff all the stats for a period of time. Let's do, see, I could take Berserk and Blood Torrent, and so these things could play off of each other. But the problem is you have such a low amount of health to begin with that you probably want some way of regenerating health. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that, but I'm gonna take Be the Fuse. Ooh, that's a big DPS increase for both guns. Let's put it on the left gun. Yeah, that's good. There we go. It's still only got 3 bullets though. Oh no. Okay. I probably need to make that Be the Fuse have an internal cooldown as well. I don't have internal cooldown support for passives yet, so I need to figure that out. Oof, I am losing control very rapidly. We can't let the run end here. Oof. Yes. Oh, come on. There we go. Woo! Got some health back. So see, this run, so the last run I played, I was like super powerful. This run, I'm definitely hitting into some more issues. Imaginary Friend, Grease Ball. Ooh, gotta take the Grease Ball. You know I gotta take the new one. Let's put that one on that. And I'm kind of low on rune slots here. Hopefully this trend reverses for me. Yeah, I need to add some kind of internal cooldown. So add system to support internal cooldowns of player passives. And then I want to add internal cooldown to Be the Fuse. Got another health globe. Full health. Let's go. Can add something like get amount of stacks health back if only amount of stacks damage was taken in a round to add risk reward. Oh, interesting. That's a cool idea. That's a very cool idea. I'm going to add that. Get X stacks of health, or let's see, heal X amount of health after wave if only taking... It could either be if taking less than X amount of damage, or... It could, what do you think? If taking less than the X amount of damage, or if taking exactly X amounts of damage? Probably exactly X amount of damage, right? That would be real risk reward, because if you, let's say you get this one a bunch of times, you got 3 of these, right? Oops, where did that go? Heal X amount of health after each wave if only taking well, I lost all my wording, but exactly X amount would make it less of a free heal after each round. Yeah, so if taking so it's basically, yeah, it's basically like, okay, well, if I have one of these, then I can take 1 damage every round. I also have this idea, when you take damage, a health goblin spawns. When killed, the health goblin drops a health globe. So I'm imagining, like, if you take damage, there will be a guy with a health jar, a little goblin, or some kind of kobold or something, and he will just run frantically around the level, so kind of forcing you to chase him. And then if you kill him, he'll drop a health globe. So I think that in combination with this can really make like a build where you're trying to take damage very, very powerful, or very doable at least. A passive that heals you after killing X amount of blood affected enemies. Something like that, yeah. Or it could be, you know, bleeding enemies have an increased chance of dropping a health globe. Something like that. I'm installing right now the demo. Yeah, okay, cool. Just be aware, Future Trunks, that the demo is very out of date and will not contain a lot of what you're seeing on the stream now. But it's still, I think, a decent representation of what the game is like. Taking 2 stacks on 3 HP at downgrade, yeah. I like that, that's a good idea. Thank you for that suggestion. That sounds perfect. And then there's this one, Robust, which is heal 1 health after each wave, but lose the ability to collect health globes. So this one would fit into there pretty well as well. So you could get a combination of all of those things, and instead of being able to get health globes, you would just kind of have to rely on your passives to regenerate your health. And the other thing, the nice thing that I like about this kind of system of picking passives after every wave is that you only get, what, 20 or 19 passive selections throughout the entire game, right? So every time you take a health-related passive is a damage-related passive that you can't take. So it's kind of balanced out in that sense, right? You're going to be leaving damage potentially on the table by taking a health thing, but then having a bunch of other passives that increase your damage based on the lack of health is a way to offset that. So Enhanced Combustion, Thunderstorm, I almost never take Robust, but that's because, again, I'm lacking a lot of health passives that would synergize with this and make this an attractive option. So sometimes the balancing issues with these passives, honestly, is just, I just need to add more synergies, and then a lot of these passives don't even need to be changed and they immediately become more attractive. Let's do, I don't even know, do I have lightning? I don't even have lightning, so I don't know why I would take Thunderstorm here. I do have I have the oil aura? I do, so I can take this, and if I can get a fire stack somehow, that would be a huge boost. Okay. I'm starting to do a lot of DPS. I think that this, speaking of balancing, I think the bubble receiver has a little bit too much damage. What do the other receivers look like? Yeah, the bubble receiver, I mean, the crystal receiver also has quite a high damage. The shotgun receiver does a lot of damage. I think the reason why the bubble receiver is so strong is because the bullets per second multiplier is pretty high. So if the bullet per second multiplier is going to be very high, I think I'm going to turn down this damage a couple of points. So that's a case where it's like the bubble receiver is almost always just a straight up DPS increase. So if I just lower the base damage a little bit, it should bring it a little bit closer in line. I need a magazine with better capacity. I only have 4 bullets in that magazine, which is making it like kind of annoying. Do I want to use this sacrifice? Zap times 3 quickness. I don't think so. I think I'm going to hold on to my health. Hello, Vivek. What software is that you use for project management? That is Obsidian, the note-taking app, Obsidian with the Obsidian Kanban community plugin. Hello, Vishal. Oh, I didn't take any damage from that? Wait. Okay. Oh, because I was dashing. I dashed in time. I forgot dash makes you invulnerable. I just watched your page on Steam. The hammer sound is so satisfying. Maybe you should add 1 to 2 more bosses besides the rat boss. Yeah, I actually want to do... I mean, ideally I would have 4 different boss types per arena. So that would be 12 different bosses in total because I'm going to have 3 arenas. The rat boss, there's a graveyard boss. He's like a little bone. I call it the living ossuary. But I think for variety purposes, sorry, 1 second. I think for variety purposes, having 4 bosses per arena is going to be really good. And I actually have a boss idea for the second dungeon boss, and that is... Where is he? Lowrider Spider. So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a big spider inside of a lowrider vehicle, and he's just going to be like zooming around doing attacks and whatnot. I think it's going to be really fun. But that's the second boss I'm going to add for the dungeon. I need to add a second boss for the graveyard. So I want to have at least... Well, we're going to have to see how much time I have, but I want to have at least 2... By launch comes around, there needs to be at least 2 bosses per arena, so at least 6 different bosses total, because I want to have a boss on wave 10 and a boss on wave 20, and I don't think that those should be the same boss. So, that's the plan, but if I have time, I will do 4. And so it'll choose a random boss for wave 10 and wave 20, which means you won't see all of the bosses in a single playthrough. And we'll extract those runes. I am not getting rune slots here, but I just got a bunch of money, so that's good. Go, my blood brother. Nice. All right, boss wave time. How do you usually prioritize backlog tasks? That's a good question. Basically, it's basically just a judgment call. It's mostly about, the question right now is this backlog item going to get me closer to the release of the game? And so all the items in the backlog here are necessary, like this cooldown of player passes one, that is necessary for balance purposes, so the game can't be ready until that balance issue is addressed. This one, yeah, balancing the cost of the permanent upgrades is very important to the game being complete. And then additional content, of course, is important to be the game being complete. And, you know, like fixing the shop. You know, this is a feature that has started to break because there have been development in other areas such that this doesn't work anymore. So I got to address that. But then when I go through the backlog here, it's just like running each item through the filter of like, is this a necessary step to getting to the completion of the game? And if not, then all the stuff ends up either being deleted or ends up in the back burner here as things that are not necessary. Love the sprite for the blood golems, by the way. Yeah, thank you. I think I had a lot of fun. I think I designed those on stream, and it was just hilarious because they've just got like a mohawk, and I don't know if you can see this little detail, but they've got like a little handlebar mustache and sunglasses. So they're just super goofy, which I love. This game, as you can tell, does not take itself very seriously, which I think is fun. And I just got the loot goblin, so we're out here. Oh, finally, here we go. Boom, more rune slots. So let's put oil on that. Might as well put the shock grenade on that as well. All right. Here comes the boss. So let's see how good of a time I have with this. So yeah, this run feels a lot more balanced compared to the run I did yesterday, where I basically got overpowered like immediately. Oh, I just took a lot of damage though. I still feel like my power is a little bit strong. I might as well bank on enhanced combustion here, but I need a fire affix. Oh, that's a huge DPS increase, but I'm going to lose a rune slot. Let's do it. I'm almost dead, though. Ooh, I'm in trouble. Did you see me weave? Yeah, I think... I gotta figure out what precisely I want to do about the balancing. Do I want to just increase the health of the enemies? Or do I want to start decreasing the stats of the weapons? And I don't even need to explicitly decrease the stats. I can decrease the stat ranges. So the gun parts that you receive are randomized. Like all their stats are randomized, but they're randomized on a normal distribution. Let's take enhanced combustion again. Oh yes, fire. Here we go. Let's put fire there. I can get free combustion by putting oil and fire there. Sweet. This is the shop that doesn't work. I'm actually curious, does it work? Let's see. I just healed myself, that's good. Yeah, I think this stuff won't work because it doesn't account for the affixes, so I probably just lose affixes. Oh, I've only got 4 bullets. Ooh, this is getting hairy. Got my health reset though. Yeah, I think enhanced combustion is just very strong still. So I think I need to add an internal cooldown to that. I think I will probably change the ranges. Maybe maybe on this stream I'll show you how I run some like simulations and whatnot. Generate like 10,000 weapon parts and then compare the numbers. But let's see how far we can get here. I might as well take Zap. And then... Ooh, got another bleed here, but I don't think I need that. Fire rate... Oh my gosh, that's a huge DPS increase, but the rune slots go down. Okay. What I really need is I need a magazine with higher capacity. That's what I need. This is actually feeling pretty good. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too trigger happy with the balancing. Maybe I just need to play it a bunch first. Increase health by 2 permanently. Let's do it. Increase rune slots. Let's do it. We'll put, what is this? Bullet pierce. Yeah. Okay. There's the shop again. I'm sorry, shop, I don't have enough money. Or never mind, I have enough money. I mean, you don't work. What I haven't gotten is like increased stamina. That's what I haven't gotten yet. Ouch. I just shoot one bullet and it like destroys enemies with this enhanced combustion. "12 bosses states go crazy. It surely takes a ton of work to build a game all by yourself." Yeah, and the bosses tend to be they tend to be the most visually complex as well, so they're just kind of just a large effort. Blazing trails, let's do that. Do I want to scramble a gun? I'm going to scramble this gun because it's not really serving me that well. Okay. Well, it's not the best gun, but I can apply this enhanced combustion over and over and over again, which is just not good. Oh goodness, I need to nerf that. That's single-handedly gonna make me win the game here. Yeah, I probably just need to nerf that. To get a better idea. Like, so I gotta just reduce or change the obviously easy mode things. And then once those are all addressed, I'll have a better understanding of like just how the raw stats are playing into the balance. I'm happy with the rate at which I'm getting health globes. They're not very common right now, which is great because health globe drops, oof, can be made more common with a meta upgrade. Okay, Blazing Trails, Imaginary Friend, let's do it. Rune slots, but number of bullets. Yeah, let's do that. Oops, I put it on the wrong one. There we go. Might as well do a shock grenade. Goodness. This is ridiculous. Even a single team member can help a lot. Yeah, it's hard. You know, I generally don't advise, if you're just going to make a indie game yourself, I generally don't advise working with somebody that you're not actively paying. Because chances are, what usually happens is that somebody gives up pretty early on. It could be either one or both of you. So I think it's just a better idea to embark on making the game yourself and just own the success or failures entirely your own. And then of course you don't have to deal with the things like, you know, if your game is successful, you don't have to worry about the monetary questions and all that stuff. Now it's a different story if you can actually afford to pay somebody, like to do work either part-time or full-time. That kind of changes the dynamic a little bit. Ooh, look at all these runes. I'm just going to let those get auto-sold. So runes are becoming quite common as well, and runes are a great source of gold. My goodness, that banging. All right. Ooh, there's a health globe. I've got a loot goblin. He should be doing his job. There's a little bit of lag happening. I don't know if you can notice it on the stream. I gotta focus on performance. Which I'm kind of dreading because I don't know how I'm gonna fix it. Enhanced combustion ×4. Let's do grease ball ×2. Why not? And let's take a look at what I've got here. That's just a straight DPS increase, so might as well throw that on. Bullets track. Ooh, I haven't gotten this one in a while. Let's just hold on to it. So we'll allow the other ones to be auto-sold. This is getting hairy. Okay. Cool. Good point. I experienced this in a game jam. People just disappear. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of romanticize the idea in your head, like, oh, it'd be cool, like, let's work on a game and we'll make it in 6 months and it'll be awesome. But then the unfortunate thing is that, you know, well, a lot of people just don't know what goes into making a game. A lot of people don't know that there's going to be parts that aren't very fun, that there's going to be parts that are difficult. And one of those things, especially for game jams, is just putting in like a 12-hour work day. That's something that most people aren't accustomed to and frankly aren't interested in. And so, you know, they might put in a couple hours of work and then be like, wait, I got to do this for 10 more hours. And then they go, bye. So it's just like, you know, it's just, and you can't really blame people, right? Like it's their time. I think that they probably have, like I said, a romanticized idea in their head of what a game jam is going to look like, or what a project among friends is going to look like, but then it doesn't shape up to be that way, and people kind of lose interest or become demotivated, which is totally understandable, but that's why I recommend owning the success and failure entirely yourself. Because if you give up, if you say, I don't want to participate in this game jam, well, then you're not letting anyone down, right? Except for maybe yourself, but so I just got magma. I've got 2 magmas here though. I'm going to put both of them on. And 10% chance to launch magma that deals 75% weapon DPS. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah. Magma, look at that magma. Go magma. Ooh, that's so nasty with so I'm shooting multiple bullets at a time here. And that's applying the stacks, that's proccing the stacks every time, so I can just... Magma! That's so cool. All right, let's go. We're doing a magma build. There's a lot of fire on the ground, though. Oof. No, I can't die now. Oh my gosh. There's definitely some lag happening here. Whew. All right, level 20, or wave 20 here. Berserk. How much health do I have? Ooh, let's just take Berserk because I'm going to get the free damage increase for the last wave. And, ooh, that's a big... Ooh, but I lose rune slots. I can't do that. Should I do a Reforge? Let's do a Reforge. Let's just see if we can push my DPS a little bit more. Okay, it looks like it's not going to work. All right, let's go. Come on, Rat King, show me what you got. Your mother was a hamster. Ow. Yes, haha. Get wrecked. Oop, there's my chest. So I've got 191 gold now. So now I can go here and I can spend that. So I'm getting about 200 gold per. And that's going to change when the shop is available and players are spending money at the shop. Stamina regeneration increased by 10%. Let's do... Banker, I guess. Increases health globe drop rate. That sounds like a good one. Reroll. Let's do start each run with a random rune. Encounters occur... Oh, I don't have that one. Let's do... dash speed. Okay. So I was able to unlock 5 items the first go around, which might be a little bit on the high side, but because at this rate, it's not going to take very many runs to unlock the entirety of the tree, which maybe is not desirable. So I think what I might do is I might start just by doubling all of the costs and then see how that works. So I'm actually going to do that. Maybe not double, maybe I'll do double. One useful tool when you're trying to balance things is go an extreme, go on the edge of extreme in one direction and see how that changes things, and then you can always peel it back. What I don't want to do is like, oh, I'm going to increase the cost of each of these meta upgrades by like 10%, because that's not going to make a noticeable enough difference. But if I double the cost of all of them, then I'm going to get a real sense for how an increased cost is going to feel, and then I can always bring it down from there, right? I could say, okay, double was too much, so I'm going to reduce it by 25% again or whatever. And a lot of times too, what you'll end up doing is if you overbalance something, or if you go too far in the direction of making something very powerful, what can actually be revealed is like, oh wait, there's something here that's really fun. And then you can build an entire like mechanic or support system for that element of fun that was revealed when you made something too powerful. So yeah, that's a tip that I learned, I think, from a GDC talk. Is like, don't be afraid to make wild changes in terms of your balancing, and then that can oftentimes reveal things to you. So I'm gonna just bump all of these up by double. going to make that one 40. I increased it a little bit more then. Loadout selection, that one actually probably needs to be like 300. Loot Goblin 600, let's go. Passive reroll 1, 100. Passive reroll 2. Let's do 200 for that one. Starting rune, I'm going to bump this up to 50. So I'm doing some of these are more than double, but that's all right. So I just bumped up the cost of all of those things. Okay. And since I did that, I should delete my save again. And instead of doing another playtest, I am interested in doing some kind of internal cooldown system for the passives. So let's see if we can implement that kind of system. But first, various balance tweaks. We'll just commit those tweaks that I just made. Okay, how are we going to add a passive or a cooldown system? So if I go to my oil combustion or oil fire passive. So in here, the tricky thing is that this is just hooking into the game events immediately, which is fine, I guess. But I'm going to have to specifically implement some kind of internal cooldown time for each thing that has an internal cooldown. So I wonder if... So the player passive here... on entity collision. What is the player passive doing here? Increment occurrences, decrement occurrences... So what I could do and what might be proper is I could connect to all the game events. So in a similar way that I'm doing the affix, if I look at my weapon affix here. So in here, what's basically going on is that all of these methods end up getting called on every affix, and it's up to the affix to override the method to supply functionality for that event. So every single affix that's on your gun will always receive the terrain collision, will always receive the player pre-fire, will always receive this on bullet last entity hit, so on and so forth, but it won't do anything unless it overrides that method. Now I could do a similar thing on the player passes where I connect to all these game events, entity collision game event, and so on and so forth, and then have to rely on overriding those handler methods. And the benefit of doing that is I could put a system on the player passive node itself for the internal cooldown, so that it won't actually handle or call the handlers for those various events unless the cooldown time is available. I don't want to do that though, because that's going to require me to re-architect a bunch of things that I don't want to re-architect. So I'm not going to do that. But what I might do is I might just go to my player passive. Oh, you know what? This is an abstract class anyway. So this... Well, first, let's do this. Player passive resource. Let's go ahead and add... export, private, or public, float, cooldown time. So we're going to add an exported variable for a cooldown time. I might just have to handle this, honestly, just on a case-by-case basis. I could do something like this. Where is this being assigned? That's it. That's a good question. From ID, resource path, get file. Wait, where's from ID? Oh, here. So this doesn't have a registry associated with it. So it's not loading all the passives. I have registries for some of these resources, which means that I have the availability of everything up front. I don't even know why I went down this rabbit hole, but right, so I think what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a little bit hacky, but I'm going to get rid of this, or I'm going to make this a private set. And I could write a setter, but I think I'm just going to public void set passive resource in here. I actually don't know if I'm going to like this. Player passive resource. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is if passive resource dot cooldown time is greater than 0, then I'm going to add a child. So I'm going to say var. Actually, let's do this. Private. Let's do private. Timer. Cooldown timer. So if passive resource cooldown time is greater than 0, then we're going to say cooldown timer equals new timer. Add child. Cooldown timer. Cooldown timer dot wait time is equal to passive resource dot cooldown time. Cooldown timer dot one shot is equal to true. Perfect. Okay. So then what I'm going to do, public void begin cooldown timer. If not is instance valid, cooldown timer, return. Otherwise, cooldown timer dot start. And then in I guess an enter tree here. In enter tree. Oh no, not an enter tree. In here, cooldown timer dot timeout plus equals on cooldown timer timeout. Private void on cooldown timer timeout. Do I actually need to listen to that? No, I don't. I don't. I just need to do this. Protected bool. Can run, or I don't know, can, or let's just do is cooling down. Return. So if not is instance valid, cooldown timer, then we're going to return false. Otherwise, we're going to return cooldown timer dot is not cooldown timer is stopped. So we're basically just going to dynamically add a timer if there is a cooldown time associated with this passive resource. And then when I listen to that timer, or when I handle that in my oil fire passive, for instance, what I can do is I can say if is cooling down, then we can just return out of there. Otherwise, I can call begin cooldown timer here. And that should automatically be handled. And then this Cool. So that should work now. This is going to break if it gets called multiple times, but that should really not happen, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So I think that's going to work. So now I can add internal cooldowns to the passives, and I'll just have to manually check it in here. I hate those bats, yeah. Why don't you have hurtbox component for your enemies? Is it for performance? I do have a hurtbox component for my enemies. Do you want to elaborate on that question? Maybe I can give a better answer. Hello, Rin. I am doing well. How are you? In the course, the camera isn't working well. Should I use Godot position smoothing? By the way, I'm Lucas. I switched my name. Okay, hello, Lucas. Now known as Game Dev Doggy. I don't know exactly what you mean by the camera not working well. Also, I don't know which course you're referring to. So if I build this, let's go ahead and give this a test. Oil fire. Let's do a cooldown time of 4. Just add a 4-second cooldown there. What was the other one that we needed to add a cooldown to? Oh, be the fuse, yeah. Well, I shouldn't mark that as done just yet. We'll give this one a 5-second cooldown. Just writing that thing down that I wanted to do for a while. Okay. So let's go ahead and test it. It's just super shaky. You mean like jittery? Yeah, I mean, that's a problem. Like, that's been a problem with the Godot camera. I think Godot 4.3 fixed that, but if you're not on 4.3, then yeah, it's gonna be jittery. I don't know if Godot's position and smoothing is gonna fix that, but you can certainly try it. I'm doing a Vampire Survivors type game right now based on your tutorial, but I read on some threads that collision hits performance heavily. That could happen. I was under the impression that the collision system in Godot is actually pretty quick because it does a bunch of optimizations. Like, it won't check collision pairs that can't possibly hit each other. I think there's an oct tree or something that manages the collisions and when to check for them. So, but it's possible. But I have hurtbox components for all of my enemies in this game, and I don't think that's what's causing the performance hits. I think, honestly, what's causing my performance hit is like the Pathfind stuff. But I have to check it out. So that appears to be working. Yeah, so that internal cooldown is working great. So that's working. So I'm going to now have to edit the magazine. This one. If is cooling down, return, begin cooldown timer. So now this explosion on magazine empty shouldn't proc more than once every 5 seconds. Nice. That's working great. Okay. So those things have been nerfed. Nice. Cool. Wow, got 2 runes right off the bat. Crazy. Nice, okay. Now I think I can move these things over. This one is kind of going to be perpetually in progress, so I guess I'll just leave that in progress there. Increased damage based on empty rune slots. Chance when applying oil to enemy to spawn a geyser that shoots projectiles. I think what I'll do is I'll just do another playthrough. So I've already got this one started, so I'll just continue. Because I made a bunch of balancing changes now, so we'll see how this feels now. Just got to playtest, no way around it. Let's equip that one, that's a good one. Rune slots +1. We'll put shock, I guess we're going for shock this game. Sweet. Robust. Get down, Mr. President. Be the fuse. I like get down, Mr. President. I gotta take that one. Unfortunately, I have to come up with a shorter name for it still, because it's bleeding off the edge. Let's put that on the right gun. Ooh, another increase. All right. Guns are not so great so far, but still early. I may end up bumping up the enemy healths just a little bit, but I'm undecided on that still. This feels pretty good so far, actually. Ooh, gun scrambler. Increased health. I'm just going to grab all the health I can get. Look at that, I'm already at 5 health. Okay. Scramble gun. I'm going to scramble the left gun here. Let's go. Bloop. What we got going on in this gun? Okay, it maintained its rune slots. That's cool. DPS. Yeah, that's fine. Oof, I almost got hit right there. That would have been bad. It's okay, I've still got my bodyguard, so. Enhanced combustion. All right, let's take, well, no, I'm going to take get down, Mr. President, again. That's a good one. That's also a good one. We'll put that on that one. Okay, got some good DPS increases here. That's extra rune slots, but my DPS goes down. I might actually do that. Oops, I put that on the wrong thing. Bullets pierce through enemies, and let's also do fire. There we go. Look at the bones, nice. I haven't had a bone magazine in a long time. And it's splitting too. Nice. Wonder why it splits into 3. Is that supposed to happen? Oh, do I have... Wait a minute. I might have Pierce on it as well. Maybe that's why that's happening. Yep, I've got Pierce on it too, which is why it's... So it's piercing enemies and it's splitting when it hits enemies. That's cool. Maybe some kind of bonus when finish the wave without damage. That's an interesting idea, yeah. Maybe some kind of gold bonus or something. Create an explosion when the magazine becomes empty. Loot Goblin. I gotta get the Loot Goblin. You know I gotta get the Loot Goblin. That's a big DPS increase, but I lose some rune slots. I wonder, I should probably put rune slots up next to the DPS, because those are the main things. I might make that change right now, actually. If I can figure out how to do it. Assemble stat labels. Get affix label data. Oh, goodness. Rune slots. I think I just need to move this up here. Okay. I think that'll do it. I'm not gonna recompile the game or anything though. It'll just be easier because these indicators, these green indicators here, they basically, this green indicator will show if either the DPS or the rune slots count is increasing. And so if one is increasing and the other's decreasing, it's easier to just understand that if they're going to be up next to each other. Which I think DPS and rune slots are the most important stats anyway, so those should be the first items. And then all the rest is just extra information that you can use to determine if your gun is going to be any good. This run is feeling actually pretty good. It feels like it's a good amount of damage that I'm outputting. I've got a lot of rune slots. Actually, I think I have too many rune slots. But I've got a good amount of health. Got the Loot Goblin already. The other thing that makes balancing a little bit tricky is that obviously certain passives are going to become less common as I add more passives, right? So if I add 10 more passives to the loot table, then something like the Loot Goblin is just naturally going to become less common, right? So that's another tricky thing that I have to keep in mind when balancing. Let's take the increased health times 3. I might go for the Berserk play. I might go for trying to see if I can just stack up a bunch of extra damage by having no health. Blood Torrent, I don't want any of these, so I'm gonna leave that heart sacrifice alone. I think the roofers went for lunch. No more banging for a little bit. Nice. Yeah, this is actually like this is feeling really good. It feels like my choices are actually meaningful. I'm giving some consideration to the different gun parts that are available to me. I've made some sacrifices to get some stats that I want. I think this is feeling pretty engaging so far. Like it's getting more and more like tighter and more fun. by the day, which is great. Ooh, increased health. Look at that. I've got, wow, look at that. I've got health out the waz. All right. This, ooh, that fire rate's going to go way down, but the DPS goes way up. This fire rate actually stays relatively the same, so I might just put that there. Yeah. I could reforge too if I wanted to, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. And then once I'm done thoroughly testing this, I gotta test the graveyard. The graveyard, well, first of all, I think this dungeon level needs one more enemy type as well, but then I think the graveyard does as well. The graveyard needs like 3 more enemy types. Die. All right. Enhanced combustion, robust. Come on, give me berserk. Oh, I need a re-roll. Come on. All right. Well, I guess I'll take... If I'm going to go for the berserk passive, I think I'll take this one. So I'm not accidentally getting health globes with the loot goblin. Because the loot goblin can really frink up your build if you're trying to maintain, like, low hearts. The loot goblin can go and automatically pick up health globes, but that passive disables health globes, so I won't have to worry about that. Nice. All right, let's do it. Am I doing game development as a full-time job? Yes, I am. Well, it's game development, and I have a bunch of Udemy courses, which are making up the bulk of my income currently. But yeah, full-time, I'm working on game-related things. So working on producing videos for my YouTube channel, working on streaming this development, working on publishing Gunforged, getting Gunforged done for the end of the year. So yeah, basically my full-time job is focusing on game creation, whether that's courses or content or the actual game itself. So we're gonna see how it goes. Come on, give me the berserk. Come on. I'm running out of time to get the berserk. Let's get increased stamina though. That's a good one. Do I want to scramble a gun? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe. I might scramble the left gun here. I have 0 rune slots now. Ooh, but look at that DPS though. Okay, I got 1 rune slot back. Ooh, I've got an empty rune slot over here. Sorry, I thought I saw like a bug or something. I think I did, but I don't know how to reproduce it now. So let's do shock status there. We've got bullet pierce there, so we'll put the shock grenade there. This one's got fire. I don't know if I need fire. Pierce, it doesn't add anything extra. Yeah, what is the... Oh, wait. Here we go. Okay. I'll just put that there, I suppose. Okay. That was a successful gun scrambler, I think. I should be doing a lot more DPS now. Oop, here comes the broken boss intro. Okay, my DPS is definitely lower this time around, but this still feels like a doable boss fight. Like I'm not doing peanut damage, you know? It's gonna take me a minute or 2 to finish this boss, but that's perfectly fine. The cheese, no. Oh my gosh, no. All right, we did it. I was like, why did I heal? Because I have that heal passive. Here. Berserk, yes, here we go. Deal 75% increased damage per 1 missing health. The build is going to come together. All right, so now I'm just going to intentionally take a bunch of damage. Let's see what happens. We'll get down until I'm like at 3 hearts. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, that damage. Woo! Look at that. It's the synergy. I'm doing so much more damage now. It's crazy. So that's 4. So 4 times 75, which is what, 300%? So I'm doing 300% more damage based on the amount of health that I have missing. Oh, okay, make that 375%. Nice. And I got that health back. Sweet. All right, the build is coming together. Let's grab Thunderstorm because I'm doing a lot of shock status. So that's going to be cool. I don't think I need to do anything here. Should be some kind of indication that taking damage is actually increasing your damage. Well, I mean, it's the passive. I think it's kind of up to the player to understand what passives they have and how they work. I don't really have a whole lot of room to start cluttering the screen with all kinds of indicators. Now, I could put maybe the indicator on the card itself, like when I open up this screen, scroll down, I could see what the current active bonus is. Although now, I don't feel so safe with the amount of health that I have. There's a rune, nice. Nice. I hate those bats you need to have move speed or to keep your dash, yeah. Like a bar red color shift. Yeah, maybe a more subtle indicator could work. Increase health by 5 permanently. Let's do that. So that gives me more opportunities to increase my damage, but let's see what happens here. I don't want any of those. So yeah, we'll just keep those. When will the demo be updated? Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of working to get the game into a place where the reason I'm focusing so much on the dungeon level is because this is the level that's going to be available in the demo. So I basically just need to keep adding a bunch of content and stuff, and then I also need to go and add sound effects for a lot of the new stuff that I've been adding. And then I will be updating the demo whenever that's ready. I'm hoping like by November I can update the demo, but we'll see. But yeah, I need to update the demo. Then after the demo's updated, I basically need to finish building out the content for the game, and then the game can be released. Lots of stuff to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and take a bit of damage here. Okay, there we go. Even more damage. This is the first time I've made like a missing health build work. Ooh. Oh, my bodyguard took that. All clear, zap, thunderstorm. Yeah, let's do thunderstorm ×2 to reduce the amount. That's a straight up DPS upgrade for the right gun, for both guns really, but ooh, yeah, let's do that. And add more shock, yes. Or no, actually, let's do pierce on this one as well. Yes, okay. Maybe I'll take a bit of damage. There we go. Unfortunately, when I have if I had thought ahead a little bit more, I wouldn't have taken the bodyguards, because the bodyguards basically intercept the first couple of hits, but that's all right. Hello, Luca. I don't think I said hello to you. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Thunderstorm ×15. Let's do it. Or ×3. No upgrades. That's fine. Let's go. I'm feeling good about my damage here. Whoop. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I think regarding the bats, I think that they, I can't remember for sure, but I think that they lead you. So they kind of try to predict where you're going to be, and they throw the globs at that location. So it's kind of to disrupt the situation where you're just like kind of running in a straight line, because they're going to throw a glob right in your path. So that's a little bit of inside baseball in terms of how those guys work. Berserk ×2! Deal 150% increased damage per 1 missing health. No way! So wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 150. Quick, mental math. What is that? Is that 750? Or did I do my math wrong? It is 750. All right, cool. So I'm doing 750% increased damage. I actually am curious as to how exactly that works. Oh, it just changes the damage percent modifier. Calculated damage. Damage per bullet. I see. So it just changes the base damage. Is this used anywhere? Like when the zap... Damage per second. So yeah, that's affecting basically anything that scales off of damage per second is going to be... So yeah, so that increased damage, it basically ripples throughout all of your passives. So it's just like a flat damage increased everything. Because a lot of passives rely on the damage per second, which is using this calculated damage. And the calculated damage is the damage times the damage percent modifier. And this is the damage percent modifier that's being changed by the... increasing damage affix. So the damage modifier... Oh no. What is it? Missing health damage. There we go. So player health component max health. Player health component current health. Yeah. So it's multiplying. It's adding that damage percent modifier to there. Yeah, so that's cool. All right. Very nice. Give me 1 second. I gotta go check the cat's getting into something. All right, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and continue here. So yeah, I'm doing an intense amount of damage here with basically everything. I can't wait to see what this is going to do in terms of the boss. Phantom gun, zap. Do I want the phantom gun? I don't think that this scales with my damage. I think that this just straight up does its own damage. The phantom gun actually doesn't inherit any of the affixes or passives of the player. Ooh, I've got a totem here. Let's put the totem there. I should make like a rune unlock screen as well, so you can track all the runes that you've unlocked. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the phantom gun doesn't inherit any of the affixes or anything. It just basically takes the raw stats and then does 50% of the damage. So it's just a nice little, it's basically just a glorified slight DPS boost, but it doesn't apply any affixes or anything. But it's cool. I'm gonna take some damage here actually. There we go. Gosh, this game is ridiculous. I'm just realizing, like, how much is actually going on in this game. There is a lot going on. Oof. No! Ooh, I'm not doing so hot. I just flubbed it so hard. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. I have to be very careful. Let's take all clear. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a straight up DPS increase. Let's take that. Do I want to get rid of some of these passives? Let's see. Bullet splits when colliding with enemy. That's a good one. Pierce. Shock grenade. I don't need shock grenade. I like the totem a lot. Maybe I don't need pierce either. Yeah. I don't want that one. Let's put... Well, I guess it's fine, actually. Double damage. Oh. Wait, that's not right. Critical chance affix. Double damage. Okay, yeah. Sweet. All right, let's go. I am doing even more damage now, though, because I've lost another health point. But I'm going to try to get that back at the end of this wave. I'm going to try to take no damage here. And we'll see. I would like for a totem to spawn. That would be nice. There's one. That totem does a ton of damage because of my damage passive, I think. Oof. All right. Whew. Almost there. Heal 2 health after each wave. It's a little bit late for that one, though. I'm going to just take another stamina point. If I had gotten that one earlier in the game, I think that would have been better. Oh, my bodyguards just died, so... wonder if I should change those bodyguards. Because they regenerate. I wonder if I should make them only regenerate when the next wave starts. Because they're very powerful, but maybe not. They're not super powerful, I guess. All right, here we go, boss wave time. Let's just, we might as well just take B the fuse so we get a little bit of extra damage. Do I want to do this? Increase stamina? No, okay. Let's see what happens. Sweet. There's my gold. Get it. Go, Loot Goblin. Get all of them. All right. And we're ending up with about like near 200-ish gold after every run. So let's acquire that one. Health Globe Chance. Oh yeah, the fact that these are way more expensive is actually making me think. I think getting extra gold is going to be able to accelerate my ability to unlock these things. And I've got 65 gold left, so I might as well get the smuggler here. Yeah, that feels much better. And these things, a lot of these things are very expensive. That's 150, that's 100. This is going to be like 400, and that one's going to be like 600. All right. Yeah, that's looking good. So many power-ups, yeah. I have even more that I want to create. So, I think I've got some written down. Increased invulnerability timer, increased duration of loot items, so you have more time to pick those up. I gotta think of some more. I really want to fill out that tree. I really want to get like just a ton of passives into the game, a ton of affixes into the game. I want every run to feel like you're kind of creating a new build every time and you're not just kind of happening upon the same things over and over again. But that requires me to create a lot of content. So, but that's just part of what needs to be done. I think I'm feeling good about this, so I'm gonna move that one over to done. The game is feeling good. It's a good level of balance for the dungeon level. I'm gonna make the graveyard level a little bit harder just by virtue of the enemies having more health. So I think it's fine that the dungeon level's a little bit easy. Yeah, I think that's fine. Ugh, I've got more UI work to do. Oh well. Well, I think, yeah, I'm going to call the stream there for the day. But thank you everyone for joining me. Do I have anything to commit? I do. Yeah, let's just internal cooldown for passives. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. It's a lot of fun, always interacting with you. And yeah, thanks for your suggestions and your ideas. For those of you that are watching now or watching the VOD, as a reminder, I have several Udemy courses available for purchase. So if you want to financially support me and learn how to build a game in Godot, check out the links in the description below, and you can also wishlist Gunforged, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. So thank you all for your continued support, and I will see you in the next stream. So have a good day, everyone.